started.
We are live. This is great. Welcome, everyone, to
We've
another
been
exciting episode.
seeing your live video is starting
Oh, we
for
are
about
live. For
10 minutes.
Yeah, and then we
Well,
decided to do things
two.
differently. All right, you do all that. Welcome,
Okay, so welcome
show.
you guys to another exciting episode of Feel It Real Fun for All
Oh, don't put
on
it
the
in that
20th
group.
of December 2024. And it's your manifesting questions, and it's live right now.
That's right.
And I think that's really clever because it can be your manifesting questions answered live.
Now,
Yes. Right, as in not wrong. They're right. And it's now.
it's absolutely true. Everyone said.
Yes.
So we've just did some shares. That's awesome.
Yes.
Apparently, we can create a poll. I'd just like for it to get started on time.
Create a poll.
And we've discovered that when Tony says the word sweetheart, he's really walking the edge.
Fine
Yeah,
line.
the fine line. It used to be circus music was having a meltdown, Stella Jim. Now it's
Oh,
sweetheart.
hello, Stella Jim.
But I digress. Oh, can we offend everyone in one show?
I'm sure you can.
Let's get some pork.
Let's try.
All right. So,
Okay.
feel it real fun.
For refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
Right. To change your entire life, join remarkable.com or dick around for another year on your own.com.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in that mood.
Kim?
Yo, Kim. Yo, Stella Jim. Stella Jim and the Kim. Mm-hmm. And the sponsor of today's show, identitybasedmanifesting.com.
Oh, is that today's sponsor? Is
Yeah.
it? How much did they give us for the show?
We'll find out. All right. So
Okay.
we're going to start today with a Neville Goddard quote that was shared to us. Hey, Lynn, by the amazing Bonnie Donaldson. So somebody
good on
give her
you,
a tag if
Bonnie.
they would. And we've got some cool questions and one that's okay.
Yes.
And
He loves doing that.
I love doing that. One that's
Everyone's going, is it my
okay.
question?
And so on and so forth. And I am ordering a long blue cable from the Amazon to see if that even makes the stream a little better.
Should, but at least we've turned Wi-Fi off as many devices that we can. Did you turn it off that yet?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm very obedient.
So we have got a
Or
dedicated
compliant.
source.
Yes, I'm dedicated.
All right.
All right.
So today's Neville got a quote from, thank you, Bonnie Donaldson, is, I tell you, everything exists and can be just as real as this room. The job you desire exists. The home of your dreams exists. The man or woman who is perfect for you exists.
All right.
You cannot conceive of a state that is not already worked out in detail, waiting for someone to occupy. As a desire is only a dream, a mere image, but when the state is entered, it is the only reality.
So let's talk about something really cool. Ready? So, Mr. 20, what about and this? So here's what I hear all the time. People say to me, they say, Mr. 20, what about parallel realities? I said, tell me more. He says, well, I believe that there are parallel realities. I said, tell me more. And and they tell me there's always a reality where you're kicking ass and a reality where you're not. And you're always in the one that you're not if you believe in this shit, from what I can tell. And I just go, that's fascinating. Let me get this right. There's some place out there that you're kicking ass, but it's not here. It's a parallel here. Right? So it's really not even out there. It's a parallel here. Right? And I do go, right? And what did I tell you there? Because if there's one parallel reality, there's got to be zillions of them. Now, what does Neville say here?
Did he say sweetheart?
Sweetheart. Right?
Yes.
So, thanks,
If you
Lisa.
saw the beginning of the show, you'd understand why I said that.
And if you tuned in
Yes.
too late for you.
Yeah.
But Neville says, but when the state is entered, it is the only reality. Hello, Buckwheat. Let's play a game called You're Not Kicking Ass Elsewhere All the Time and Sucking Here. Right? It's called, Neville Goddard said, make there here and here now. Or there now and there, something like that. But also, let's have a sense of humor, shall we?
Now.
Yeah. See, I noticed one other thing with the parallel realities thing. People are always really serious in this one and not serious in the other one. And I'm not serious when I'm in this one. And they want me to get serious in this one with their seriousness. And I go, seriously, sweetheart?
Sweetheart, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
So, anyway, shall we dive in? Oh, my Brucey boy.
Yeah.
See, he's sitting right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce,
It
how about a
blends
kiss?
with your white
How
shirt.
about kisses? How about kisses for Dad? How about kisses for Dad? Oh, they
Can't
can't
see it.
That's all right.
Sneaky
All right.
kiss.
Shall we, Victoria?
Yes, we shall. So the first question today is from Autumn on Facebook.
All right.
Instant revision. And Autumn asks, to effectively revise something on the spot, is it better to hear what you prefer while someone is talking, or do you not take in what they said as fact and go in a sats to revise? Thank you for clarifying.
All right. So I have this state that goes, really,
Sweetheart.
sweetheart. Right?
Yes.
I really do. Right. And I use it all the time. Not against anyone, but for me and them. Right. So here's the cool thing about the state akin to sleep. I'm a massive fan of investing that time where I wake up in the morning, Joseph Goddard to the max, the time when I go to bed at night, revision to the max, right? Seriously, right? And also I take a nap during the day. Why? Because Victoria is exhausting, right?
It's exhausting.
And she tucks me in, and as I start to go to nap, I invest that, and when I start to wake up from nap, I invest that. And this afternoon, I have a call with the remarkable Tabitha, and I can guarantee at some point today, while waking up, going down, or waking up again, I will have imagined lovingly for our call and for her, right? Now, here's the cool thing. Anytime, anywhere, for you to effectively imagine the state akin to sleep, as far as I can tell, must be there. Because in a up, bada bing state, a lot of think-you-do goes on. But if you just slow down a tiny little bit, if you slows down a tiny little bit, and what happens is something massive. And so, like, I'll walk into the shops, and I'll just slow down, right, a tiny little bit, and then I can imagine effectively. And what most people try to do is they try to get you involved with their high-speed bullshit, and you're and you just passively take it in and you get hypnotized, right? On the other hand, if I just slow down a tiny little bit and I just go into my really sweetheart state, right? Right? That's not a demeanor toward them. It's a I'm recognizing bullshit when I hear it. And anything that's coming out the heart tends to come out this way, right? So boom, 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 right? What comes out the other way, I'm not a fan of, and I just recognize it for what it is. So for me, the first step is I just sort of slow down a tiny little bit. All right, and sometimes I'll even say that, like every time almost. All right, right? Really? Okay. And often they'll change right in midstream because they get I'm not joining in their swimming in shit party. So here's what's cool. While it's happening, right, you just get to like enjoy slowing down a little tiny bit instead of buying into their their aggro. And while I'm there, I start hearing what I want to hear, and oftentimes they start telling me what I want to be told. Right? It's just good fun for me. But that's what's really cool. So I invest those major, state akin to sleep times. I'm waking up, going down, but at any time, and I do it all the time. Right? And the key with this is this: if you listen to somebody tell their long, grumpy story, whether it's high intensity or low intensity, and you just start fading away and going into trance and making fuzzy movies, you're entering into their world, and that becomes the only reality. And then, like later on at 3 a.m, you're going, wow, I wonder what's going to happen when I'm 95 years old and screwed and nobody loves me and and they're going blah, 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 blah. Right? Y'all ever done this? Right? On the other hand, you just go, right, sweetheart, right? And I'm not dismissing them. I'm dismissing their bullshit. That way they can let it go. So there it is right there.
It helps them sort of notice as well. Like when, instead of just being there and agreeing and, oh yeah, right, I get you and all of that, that they can only live in that world while it's like that.
Yes.
But for you to go, really, sweetheart? Or something, it's like, oh, hang on a minute. And it might, it helps, I think, maybe in them waking up to what they're saying. Or
it does. It's interesting because when I watch people be polite instead of loving, right, they'll agree and they'll, that's wrong that they did that, and it's right that you're, and I just sort of like, and after a while you can just tell they fizzle out because I'm not giving them the steam. When somebody's doing the thing, they don't have their own steam. They want yours, and I don't give them my steam. Yeah, I just like, really. And by the way, you don't got to say it. I sometimes apparently do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue to answer
Okay.
Autumn's question
Yeah, thank you, Autumn, for
as
that
we
question.
continue to answer other questions.
Yes.
And doobie doo bop bop bop. So
Dibbidi-bop-bop-bop.
anyway, oh,
Okay.
and thank you guys for inviting people. This means heaps to me.
Yeah, good on you.
Cool.
The next question's from Remarkable Brendan, fear and doubt. And Brendan asks, fear and doubt show up now and then. Why does it not matter?
All right. This is pretty good. I'm going to give a medium advanced thing here and an invite to join remarkable.com because this is the kind of stuff that I find really worth exploring. So a lot of people go into, well, how do I deal when doubt and fear show up, right? If you're going into how first, you're probably going to have to do that a lot. On the other hand, why? So if we just step back and explore things a little bit tiny differently. So I notice doubt shows up whenever I deny me. When I deny who I am, when I deny how this works, there's room for doubt. And once doubt shows up, then I can start experiencing consequence, right? Which, like, okay, well, when it doesn't happen, then I'll live under a bridge, and I'll live under a bridge with someone named Bubba, and I'll live under the bridge with someone named Bubba who will never shut the fuck up, and I'll live under the bridge with somebody named Bubba who will never shut the fuck up, and I won't be able to enter the state akin to sleep, and if I can't enter the state of sleep because of Bubba, it won't shut up because I'm living under a bridge because, and it just
Takes a life of its own. Yeah.
this brings us to something really important that I don't find anyone teaching. And I invite you again, join remarkable.com, right? And for you guys that have just finished up 2024 with us, if you want to re-up your membership, I'd love it, right? We got some cool shit going on in the 2025 group chat that's going to merge into the 2025 experience. But here's the cool thing. States versus stories. You don't bother changing stories. Stories are designed. If we make movies, we're going to have drama and dilemma. If we're using stories for what they're designed for, they create a fellowship and convey wisdom. And the only way you can use a story for what it's designed for is it's determined if you are in an active state or not. And what I mean by that is this. You can passively imagine, join in their shit show, watch the news, join in that shit show, go to the shops, join in that shit show. Or you can just like, radio, let's just shake some shit off, sweetheart. Take a shower, get the poop off you, and realize, and here's the gold, hashtag this, is Tom here? I see Lynn saying hi to Tom. Is that green and red things, Tom? The, yeah, your state determines what stories you accept and reject. You don't got to edit stories. Right? I'm in a state, I've said this 1,000 times before, I'll say it today a little differently. I'd go to the corner bookstore every weekend as a little boy and buy books. And they always had the newest editions and the older editions of the up-and-coming financial collapse. This was the 70s. And whether or not it has happened, who the hell knows, right? I just love when people argue, well, it actually happened and it's happening still. Like, right, whatever. But there are people that have made a massive difference in the world and made some massive amounts of money because they didn't buy into the bullshit. And in other words, their state rejected that story. And there's other people out there, their state is going, oh my God, another catastrophe story. States determine the stories you accept or reject. So you don't bother changing any stories. I don't bother changing anyone's stories. I lead with my state and invite them to step into a new state. Hey, Stephanie, nice to see you too. Christina, cool. So why do fear and doubt not matter? The first thing is denial. Remember, everything starts before you think it does. When you're denying the truth about you, that sets you free. You deny the truth about you, there's a little room for doubt. Once doubt shows up, fear shows up. And we don't bother dealing with the fear. We don't bother dealing with the doubt. We get to go, rightio, have a chuckle, and just remember, and explore, because you don't want this to be a head thing. Yeah, how can I notice that I am God having the adventure of a lifetime? Now. And then you'll notice fear and doubt. They go visit other people who are ready for them.
Yeah.
So, great
Cool.
question. That FCKSHT call we did, beautiful for this, because you get to celebrate when you notice. If you ever beat yourself because you were doubting or you were in fear, you're just contributing to that cycle. But when you celebrate, when you notice you've been there, now you exit that. So, Kim, got to remember to chuckle. But the chuckle comes a little later. That FCKSHT moment. Boom. So, got to remember to chuckle.
Cool.
Coral's right. Everything starts before you think it does. Absolutely. Everything starts before you think. It does.
Yeah.
It's true. It's that whole thing. You're faster than you think. Right? And people go, thoughts create things. Thoughts are created by your state. Thoughts are literally mini stories. Right? The mini stories you have are going to tell you all about your circumstance that's coming. They're the indicators. They're the turn signals of the car. The turn signal does not drive the car. Right? I followed people down the road the other day. They got the turn signal on the whole way to the pool. They're not going that way. Right? There's other people that don't have it on and try to kill me in the roundabouts. I don't pay attention to turn signals. So, Victoria.
Okay.
When I do, I end up saying the word sweetheart a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Excellent. Thank you, remarkable Brendan, for your question.
that was a good question.
All right. So
Right.
it wasn't the one that was okay.
Right.
That you said at the beginning. They're all good except one.
Yes. And that one's super okay.
Right. I
Sweetheart.
think, is this Cortez?
Yeah, that's Cortez.
Not Cortex. Okay.
I tell you what, it just autocorrects it, doesn't it? Wait, we should call you Cortex. Because you sort of get stuck in the neocortex. You do, right? Yeah, not a judgment, just a noticing. Right? So,
Yeah.
all right.
The next question is from Cortez on Facebook. Can imagining do this?
Yes.
And Cortez asks, can you change a physical body part by imagining? Did Neville touch on this subject?
Cool. I'll go back to the quote. All right, yeah. Is it possible? Yes, it already is. Are you going to surrender into it? Right now, here's the cool thing. I asked if this is. I asked you a question. I don't even remember what the question was. But I also looked back at your previous questions over the past couple years, like 2019 onward, just for fun. And one of the things that I notice is this. Neville not only touched on the subject, but he was touched by the subject. Sometime in the past year, apparently I've had a hip replacement. I've had the experts ask me. I've had my old friends ask me, when did you have it done? I haven't. I replaced me, which is really, really cool, right? As long as I made it about the hip, and this will show up in Lisa's question, I made progress. And I was making pretty good progress up and down 2023. The problem with progress is pain. Progress is painful. You're never there. You're always getting closer, but you're never there, right? Transformation, transfiguration, transubstitution, nice, interesting experiences. But so can imagining do this? Absolutely. Now, here's what I'm going to suggest to you, right? Identity-based-manifesting.com. Cool little pack. My shift happened because of a change in identity. And there's only so much I can put into a show, a podcast, and we've got thousands of hours of free stuff out there. But we really nail some bits in identity-based-manifesting.com that are vital to nail. Because if you're trying to change things, or you're trying to change what you do, if you're trying to change when something happens, that's, as far as I can tell, a perpetual path of struggle. Christina says progress is painful. Yeah, you're never there. You never arrive, right? See, here's what progress is. I'm going to the party, right? Next weekend, in a year.
Yeah, right.
Driving there, getting closer. Oh, they're trying to kill me in the roundabouts again. Right? I'm going to the party. Some of y'all have been here in Australia, and some of y'all have been to the pool and shops with me. I am the party. Remarkable kids. We went shopping, I don't know, 2 months ago. I took y'all shopping. I was the party.
Yeah.
Right? And this is not an act. This is not a push. It's called I'm the party. And when you enter into progress, the party of you stops. Whenever you're willing to change your identity, it's a whole new party. Because a lot of people have identities that are pity party identities. Right? I'm not a fan of that. Been there, done that. Some people have progress party identities. Right? We're into progress. All righty, y'all. I'm into something far, far different. Identity-based manifesting.com. So, strongly suggested. You may or may not get it. Totally up to you. Now, here's the cool thing. Your identity will determine whether or not you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Because when your identity will also go, I agree with this, or I don't agree with this, as well. I don't give a shit about agreement. I am a massive fan of adventure. Let's play a game. Victoria?
Yes.
Will you play a game with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is the world of argument and agreement. I can structure my language to make her agree or look like a fool, right? And a lot of couples do this. They engage in argument and agreement, right? I invite you to something that we call adventure, right? Do we agree much or argue much, or do we adventure much? On the scale, I like how she's going, what's the trick? What's the trick question?
Where's the trick? No.
Yeah,
we don't actually disagree that much.
We actually don't.
We don't. What was the other one?
So argue, agree, or adventure. See, here's agreement. Yep,
was
they're
the third
wrong.
one, but yes,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
we
argue,
adventure
agree.
much.
Yeah, we adventure much.
Yeah.
Right? And argue and agree, they come from auditory. Adventure comes from something really cool called a dance between your kinesthetic and your visual. And that reveals a new song to sing to the Lord, which this will not make sense to a lot of people, but those of you in join remarkable.com will appreciate that as I continue to appear to digress. Hey, Cortez, you could join us there too. Right?
Yeah.
Right? What's it costing you not to?
Yeah.
Right? So, yay.
Very cool.
All right. But it's $100 a month for the basic. I want the advanced.
So thank you, Cortez, for your question.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Yeah. The next question's from Jeff on Facebook.
In the middle of the night.
The middle of the night.
Who else wants to sing that with me? In the middle of the night. I don't know the words. I go walking in my dream. I don't know. See, I don't know the rest of it. In the middle of the night.
Okay. And Jeff asks, I've found myself out of sleep in the middle of the night.
In the middle
I do
of
not
the
like
night.
to think things. I do play with my imaginations. How else can I invest this time? Because sometimes I have no more buns left to add to my oven.
Cool. Ready? I'll go identity-based manifesting again, because here's what happens to me. I wake up in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
And I've got two ways I can go: repetition or novelty. Repetition is, what's the same shit I can worry about? Money, relationships,
It's like
health.
the fear and doubt.
Yeah, it's all fear and doubt.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what most people do. Cortisol bings you at 3 a.m, right? And that's its job, wake you up. And it's useful when you're driving the car, right? And somebody goes to kill you in a roundabout, sweetheart, right?
Yeah.
And I digress, right? But it's really, really important that when that one drop of cortisol brings you up, always be investing. So if I'm passively spending that time, I will worry about the universal things, and they will be the repetitious worries that I've had for 58 years. Or the up-and-coming financial collapse of the world, of myself, of, oh my God, right? Well, it's not financial collapsing, must be what? The body. Oh yeah, entropy, right? Everything's winding down. And you're the anti-entropic experience of the universe. But I also digress. So it's the middle of the night, And I just find myself, I'm not now. There we go. So,
Yeah,
somebody's
good one,
unremarkable.
Christina.
So I find myself basically experiencing the state of not now, right? Yeah, I can do that later if I choose, right? Yeah, sweetheart, right? Yeah. And then I end up teaching something novel. I just let one of my identities show up. Or the state of happy living husband shows up, and I experience something novel that I want to share with her. And I start doing this at 3 in the morning, right? Tell her, and then I go to sleep. But it's a really interesting thing. So if I've got my core identities to just slide back into, and I adore teaching, and some of y'all want to know where some of the cool shit shows up? Well, I can tell you when it shows up.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. And here's the thing. This has been bouncing around in Remarkable. Sing to the Lord a new song. Right? In other words, don't show up with the same old bitches. Right? Sing to the Lord a new song.
Yeah.
Because we will have, everyone's got the same universals. Health, getting older, finances, don't know. Don't know what's coming next. Trump's coming, right? Is that good or bad? We don't know. Yeah, people spin out in the weirdest ways, and it's all predictable, and it's all crowds.
It's all what?
Crowds.
Crowds.
Universals.
Yeah. Oh.
On the other hand, your uniques, your desires, they're a gift from God. And so I'll experience radio. It's 3 in the morning. What do I choose now? Happy living teacher. What's he want to do? Teach. What's he going to teach? I'll find out. Boom. And oftentimes you guys in joinremarkable.com, you get the first hit. I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? Or somebody like Jerry pokes me. Jerry, you got 2 minutes? Or Jerry says, 20, you got 2 minutes? Sorry, Jerry. You're getting my 3 in the morning, pal. Now it's yours. See ya, right? So, middle of the night. Cool. Let the identity give you some guidance for what activity to explore. It's always identity first, identitybasedmanifesting.com. Crass commercial over. Next. Stephanie says, yes, sing to the Lord a new song. Isn't it? Here's the thing. People will do, I've been imagining the same thing the same way for 352 days in a row, and it still hasn't happened yet. What do you suggest I do? Imagine something different. See, if you could imagine something different, because they all go, right, well, it hasn't happened yet, so I feel like I have to keep pushing. So you haven't experienced the Sabbath yet. Right? And here's the cool thing. When I'm done in the seafood section, I move to the meat section. Until I'm done in the seafood section, I'm seeing seafood. When I go to the meat section, I'm meeting meat. Right? And it's just it's a different experience. And when we allow ourselves to experience novelty, and boy, we had a great discussion about this the other day in the kitchen. Poor Victoria, right? But I digress. Yeah. So we get to imagine up and entertain some differences. How cool is that? But I digress. Victoria.
Okay.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So thank you very much, Jeff.
Offie K. Almost at an Offie K.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for your question. The next question is from Cindy in manifestingmasterycourse.com.
She's probably one of our most beloved kids that's been around forever and always preaching manifestingmasterycourse.com.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, Cindy.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. I mean, she just shares her adventures and always suggests Manifesting Mastery when somebody newbie comes in. And means heaps to me.
Cindy.
I remember, you know the coolest thing? Crass commercial for manifestingmasterycourse.com. We actually get to know some of y'all. You send us your updates like we request every 7 days. You actually get to become friends and family. Some of y'all move on to Dream Driven Days and Remarkables and stuff. Some of you just hang out in the public groups or whatever for a while or forever. But this is why I do what I do. I want to get to know you. And here's Cindy.
Yeah.
Beauty.
So, Cindy in Manifesting Mastery, always be investing.
That's right.
And Cindy asks, the one thing most of us dread, the dentist. I went this morning. I went yesterday, Cindy. But instead of making it about scary and fearful, I began to imagine something as I entered the building. I actually went to the wrong clinic. But I decided to have some fun and not get angry at the mislocation. So a lady behind the desk said, "Girl, let me walk you over there to the other building. I need the exercise.
All right.
One by one, people stepped up to either help or make some coolio chat. Everything went easy cheesy, even my X-rays. Okay, now did I revise as I went through this entire dental visit, which was close to 2 hours? What things can we do to make events like this way more pleasant? I got in the car and said to Rick, I had a great time. Honey, do you believe it? I enjoyed the dentist. Something must be wrong with me, laugh out loud.
Sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I go shopping twice a week. In other words, I take the puppies away from her and I abandon her for, I don't know, a couple hours total. Right?
Yeah.
Over 2 shopping visits. Most men I know hate shopping. Me, since I'm the party, I bring the party to the shops. And that to me is where the massive gift is, because when you get I am the party, and this is not an affirmation, this is a realization, I am the party. I'm not waiting till after the dentist to have fun. I'm not waiting to get to the dentist to have fun. The girl behind the desk joined your party.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a pity party. It wasn't a progress party. It was a, hey, let's take a walk.
Yeah.
Right? Party. It seems to me that a lot of people get stuck in the whole, I got to be married by Thursday. And they miss out on a lot of coffee dates. And I think coffee dates are adorable. I have dozens of them daily, mostly with her. But I have coffee dates with everyone all the time as well. I'm walking into the pool yesterday, right? And I'm taking the steps of strut, right? And I get to the top of the steps of strut, and I turn and I go, oh, look at a puppy dog. Because there was a very lovely puppy dog under a table and a very grumpy sweetheart above the table. And the grumpy sweetheart, like, you know, just crosses to me. It's like, oh, wow, look at you. Right?
Oh.
And I'm enamored with the puppy. I'm always telling puppies, you can do anything you want to. The world is your oyster. Go forth and play. She won't even make eye contact. Like, this is great fun for me. And I still get to imagine lovingly. Right?
Yep.
I'm the party. And the puppy sees me coming and goes, there's the party, there's the party, there's the party, there's the party, there's the party. Right? And
Did you get down on your hands and knees?
no, I was busy.
Right.
Yeah, getting in there. So this is the fun bit. I'm the party. I don't wait for the party to start. I don't wait for the party to get there. And even when I'm just quiet on my own in the pool or smoking a cigar, I'm still the party. I don't pour the whiskey so I can settle down. I needed that. Right? I don't light the cigar so I can, the day's finally over.
Yeah, right.
At some point, you're going to wish there was another day. Yeah. So we really get to notice, I love what you did here. Now. Right? I'm the party. Now. And this is where we get to play. So I just want to congratulate you, Cindy. I think it was great. Yeah. And you could have, and since you're always telling people to join manifestingmasterycourse.com, lesson 1, you've taken it so far to heart. And some people just skip over it. Yep, first lesson done. Can't wait to do the other 89. No. Live the first lesson. The first lesson, for those who live it, tell me that alone was worth the price. Oh, cool. Let's expand on that. Lesson 2. So good on you, right? How many giggles did you share the whole time? There we go.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Cool. All right, Victoria.
Excellent.
Let us continue.
Thank you, Cindy, for your question.
I really am almost out of coffee.
That's all right. We haven't got long to go. The next question's from Sally via email, Inner Conversations.
That's right.
And Sally asks, why do my inner conversations still suck?
All right. Sally is struggling with inner conversations. Now, Coral in Remarkable shared a quote, and I'm going to ask Victoria to read that, and then I'm going to have a field day. So everybody, hashtag field day.
Hashtag field day. Coral in Remarkable said, change the activity and you change the world in which you live. And you change that activity by the changing of your inner speech. For speech mirrors your mind, and your mind mirrors God.
We play this game called German Whist every night, and every night we play German Whist, and a lot of nights she doesn't win. Let's just be honest. Yeah. She's a very good teacher. And so she learned me German Whist, and I kick ass with it. Then I introduced something else to it, which she hates, so we took it out. That's another story, right? She goes, all right, you don't like innovation? That's fine with me. Right? Yeah, closet insults, sweetheart. But anyway, right? So here's what happens. Last night, it's time for me to win something, and I tossed down an ace.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what you said?
No.
I could lie and say I don't have any of that suit.
Oh, yes, I did.
Right? Because if she has something of that suit, she's got to play it, and I win.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And if you don't, then you're allowed to trump it.
Yeah, so, and then she wins, right? In other words, she says, I could lie. Ready? Are you any good at that?
No.
She ain't. I so admire, respect, and love her. Not just because of that, but I'm sure that's factored in there. So her state, which includes honesty as a quality of that state, has her unable to have an external conversation where she lies. When somebody says to her, does this outfit make my butt look fat? She's honest and says, that outfit doesn't.
It's the other one. No.
Yeah, it's not the outfit, sweetheart. Right? But, so our inner conversations are exactly the same. This doesn't mean that you're going to be honest with yourself. At any time we can go inside and lie to ourselves and we won't get caught. Now here's the thing. If your inner conversation's stuck, you need to be in a different state. Because the state of happy, loving husband cannot internally or externally participate in the conversations that I hear some people carry on at the pool. I just go, that is incredible. I don't understand. So I'll ask, I said, why did you marry her? And they'll say, and I say, oh, why do you stay?
Yeah.
Right? Really? Like,
yeah.
It's utterly fascinating to me. And it's like the internal conversations that happy, loving husband has are of a very specific variety. I don't try to edit my conversations. And here's the thing. If your inner conversations suck, you get to change who you are because they mirror who you are. What's that quote say? For spirit mirrors your mind and your mind mirrors God.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. You are God having the adventure of a lifetime. How you have an adventure, the kind of adventure you have, that's up to you. In other words, you are your own savior here. And here's the cool thing. Let's go a little esoteric. In the name of Jesus, there's a tooth, the tooth that consumes. And so Jesus Christ, being your imagination, can consume something. In other words, chew it to bits and destroy it. Right? So you can move beyond it. And this is really important with what we've already discussed and what's coming up. And what happens here, you don't try to edit or change your inner conversations. That's like faking with your turn signal, your indicator. Right? I don't watch indicators. I watch front tires and drivers. The indicators tell me something, and I do take them into account. But it's like when somebody says one thing and does something else, I pay attention to what they does. To me, that's where the gold is. It's behavior. Behavior comes from perception, and words can lie. So if you're lying, if you're editing, if you're trying to structure a new story, that's all bullshit. If you try to structure a new story and it doesn't agree with your state goes, that's bullshit. There's another thing that I hear about all the time. And I tell people, manifestingmasterycourse.com, right? Do what we do. So why does your inner conversation still suck? Because you're trying to control it. So let's pretend. So ready? I'm going to pretend that I'm massive and Victoria is inside me and she's my inner conversation, right? Right? You ever try to edit what somebody else says or control what somebody else says? Right? So if Victoria tries to talk, and I said, no, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say this. And then she says something else, and I said, no, you're supposed to say this. Right? It's just nuts.
Yeah.
And that's how most people treat themselves. Your inner conversations are a symptom. When you change your state, your symptom changes.
Yeah.
Going back to Cortez's question, right? Hope you're still here. By the way, the people that watch for their question and leave tend to be looking for a fix. Got my fix them out. I'm not into fixes at all. Fixes imply you're broken. Fixes turn you into addicts. That's why they call it a fix, right? Now, here's the cool thing. Fun. When I moved into the state of Fighting Fit and discovered it was Fighting Fit Fleshitarian this time, I traded who I was in. And my body part has totally transformed, right? Really, really cool going from every step being excruciating pain and taking painkillers and eating a walking stick to doing some really weird, fun, esoteric kung fu drills every day. Really massive. For fun, just look at my face from a year ago to now. But taking this whole thing back to inner conversations, if you're trying to talk yourself into something, if you need motivation, which is the same symptom, inspiration, that really inspired me. All that auditory is bullshit, right? The auditory just reveals. It's your indicator. You want to change something? You change how you perceive. That changes how you believe. And you do that by changing identity. So, Penny, Gold, nice to see you. Boom. Summer. Yep. When you change your state, your inner conversations change. By the way, there are things that show up when I'm just happy puppy dad with Bruce and Emmett out there that don't show up until she walks in the room. If she walks in the room, now I'm happy loving puppy dad. And that.
Sorry.
What? Anyway, peek out and see if there's a delivery. There they go. All right. So, audio reveals. That's right, Coral. Cool. Inner conversations are symptoms. And that's the thing, right? If you really dive deep into this, yeah, it's how you perceive determines what you can believe. And most people walk around with these bundles of beliefs, which are stories. And I'm really concerned with how do you perceive, what do you perceive? First question most people miss. How do you perceive and what do you perceive? Lovely. So, I don't know if Alessandra's still around, but hope she is and she hears this. The Alessandra teaches me how to perceive more about my voice. So when she teaches me how to perceive different parts of my body, right, as I am singing in real time, I don't have room to judge myself as a good or bad singer, but she's turning me to explore. And so here I am in the pool. 2025 for me is the year of Roy Orbison, right? And it's already started because that's what I do. I'm not good at waiting, right? And so I've already been exploring, like all the different parts of Roy Orbison in my body as I'm walking into the pool, as I echolocate when I enter into the pool building, as I'm in the water doing my little drills. I do kung fu drills while stretching my body, while exploring this stuff, while exploring, pretty woman. Yeah, that, right? So,
Cool.
Bop, 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 bop. Yep, change your identity. So, 10, love you. Nice to see you. Galaxy, that's it. How you do perceive and what you do perceive. That first question almost everybody misses. She teaches me how to perceive more, not just perceive your vocal cords. Just so much more. All right.
Cool.
That was good.
Okay. Thank you, Sally, for your question.
Oh, who sang Mustang Sally? Mustang Sally. That was that other guy, wasn't it? Roy didn't sing that.
No.
No. But I could bring him in as my, I said, my 90-degree little Roy Orbison. So Roy Orbison singing that guy and that guy singing Roy.
Cool.
Nice.
And the last question today is from remarkable Lisa Ann LaRocque.
That's right.
Tracks of Desire. And Lisa asks, hello, 20 in Victoria. I'm still exploring the state of progress you spoke of in our last remarkable call in December. Progress away from being a burden to Victoria. The epiphany came on December 25th. your anniversary in a few days.
Yep.
I noticed that progress is the mask and disguise survivor wears.
Super side note, you guys that are listening later, especially on the YouTubes, read this question. Right? Victoria brings it to life, but you've actually got to read this.
Yeah.
Just how you read these
Yeah.
questions. Go ahead.
So I really like that bit. I noticed that progress is the mask and disguise survivor wears. Our desires seem to throw out an image before us just as the train tracks were laid over and through the Alps from Venice to Vienna before a train was ever in existence which could make the journey. They knew one day the train would come. I often remark when imagining, I'm in Vienna now. Cool. The train will come. 20, did you lay tracks for your December 25th arrival? And did revision play a part in you waking to a new state that Christmas Day? Much thanks and well done you, Lisa.
Cool. I've gotten some criticism on this. And I love criticism because critics aren't fucking creating. So here's the criticism. You know, you obviously aren't that good at this shit if you could, right? Now, I've brought up publicly and in one-on-one or group calls, one-on-one calls, I was remembering when I was fighting fit. Okay, I've been teaching this stuff for over 20 years. And I was remembering when I was fighting fit. But I didn't know I was.
Yeah, you didn't catch it.
Ready?
Yeah.
I was blind to that. Being blind to that, I go to, why is this man blind? Is it because of his sin or his parents? Or something like that. It's in the scripture, right? And the reply was, neither. This man has been blind to reveal the glory of God. This is how I see all that. I have dedicated my life to being a happy, loving teacher. And that also includes me saying sweetheart once in a while, or writing something that isn't all that fucking polite. And it's not because it's because I'm loving. Now, here's the thing. Why was the man blind? Why was I blind? Not because of my sin or the sin of my parents. Yeah, parents being something I imagined a long time ago, right? The reason I was blind was for the glory of God as far as I'm concerned. In other words, I've got a hell of a good story. In other words, some people say, oh, he was a hostage in a prison riot. Well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. That was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Fuck, that's almost 40 years ago. 35 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever else. Well, what else has he done? Oh, scoliosis. I did that as a teenager. Moved around the world 14 years ago. Yeah. Ready? Here's one from last year. And this is one of the big things I keep telling people. If you want answers, I'm not your guy. Because when people ask questions, you give them an answer, and they go, hey, I got 2 more questions now. You give them 2 more answers, they got 4 more questions. Right? And it's a never-ending shot in the dark. Or they go away because they want to find someone to agree with them. Right? I don't believe in what you're saying. I don't agree with you, so I'll go find someone else who I can agree with. And I got it. This is why I don't do comment coaching anymore.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Comment coaching just is a waste of my fucking time and theirs, more importantly. But here's the cool thing. Why? Why did I go blind? Nicholas, thanks. Nicholas loves the house view in the background. A couple people have said that. The state of happy, loving teacher needs stories and needs experiences to teach from. If I just tell you what Neville said, I am of no use. Go into Google, use an AI. At least the AI will make up some shit. Right? Go into Google, it'll just give you some data. Right? I'm into experience. Now here's the thing. Probably about 7-8 years ago, I was using the phrase, I like answering the question and the questioner. So when somebody says to me, well, I got a friend who was curious about this, and if something happens, and I want to know, right, is this you? And is it real? So, well, it's not me, it's my friend. So I need your friend to ask me. Because if the friend actually asks me, there'll be some subtleties revealed that can help me answer the question and the questioner. Now here's the thing. What's behind both of those? The possibility of a quest. In other words, an adventure. right? A quest is a little bit different than a mission, as far as I can tell. I for years have said I'm mission oriented, and I don't think I am. I think I'm quest oriented. We got a siren. I'll just wait a second.
Yeah, because Bruce will might start howling.
Look at him out there waiting for Bruce. So here's the good thing. Were there tracks laid before? I suspect the tracks that I always lay before come from my three core identities. Whatever it is, I need a teaching story. Years ago, I came up with a question. How do I get to the next level of what I do? And I went to bed, and during the night, 3 in the morning, I got to change your name to Mr. 2020, the number of perfect vision. Because even way back then, I was 40 years old at the time, so that would have been 18 years ago. I was still a little obsessed with this whole thing of people driving themselves nuts with internal auditory. And we're designed, think about it, we talk about visionaries, we're talking about the power of vision, the vision of God, we're talking about touch, who touched my garment, and what gets you stuck? Endless argument and agreement. Yeah, you're right, Mr. 20. I don't give a shit if I'm right. I want you to dance. I don't want you to tell me I'm right. I could give a shit. Sweetheart. But here's the fun bit. As far as I can tell, we're always laying tracks, especially from the deeper parts of us. And God, yeah, when I'm answering these questions, Lisa, I always like step into me and go, I hope I'm giving to you with this. And I do. And I get to come out of that whole thing of the doubt and the fear, going back to Brandon's thing. You see how fast it happens? And I just get to trust. If we're going to lay tracks, we got to trust. Years ago, I'm talking to my friend. He's a writer. And I said, why don't you set up a WordPress website? Share what you're doing. And he spends 2.5 months set up a free WordPress site, trying to get things to work right, get his domain and to go with it, and talking with the help desk. And I told him, I says, Bud, you could have done this in about 4 minutes if you're willing to spend $20 a year. He wasted months of time that he will never get back. And by the time he's done with all that, the passion is gone. He's been in tech mode for so long, the passion for the project was dead. In other words, he was avoiding putting skin in the game. And the confrontation, if you put skin in the game, what's my wife going to say? That was the big part. And the passion died. And the project died. And I just, that drives me absolutely nuts. They look at it. But the eyes go down. I would go, why the fuck the eyes go down? They normally don't go there. Man's faith in God is measured by his confidence in himself. Right? There it is. You want to lay tracks? How do you know when you're confident with yourself? You get infinitely curious. So one of our bills came due. We spend money on things called servers, softwares, apps. I buy a lot of books, work with some people. I am so willing to invest money. I invest money really fast. I buy these meats, right? For me, the meats are investments, but that's another story. You can't help but lay tracks when you have confidence in you. Going back to surviving, God, I'm so good at surviving. And I've put it to rest a couple times, and I don't ever dare assert that I'm done being a survivor. I get to notice when survivor shows up. By noticing, am I really the party right now, or am I working on progress? So I swing by the liquor lane this morning, the one that I destroyed the display at a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the other day I wiped out. Josh has this wine. It's $26 a bottle on Solve 2 for 30, and I take it all. And he's like, "You can't take it all." I'm like, "I can."
Watch me.
Watch me, Josh. And
Yeah.
I did. So I go in today, and he had one bottle there that they found, and I took it, and I'm like disappointed. And he says, "I'm not going to get any more in unless you order it." And I said, "Put me down for 2 cases, right? Just for fun. Why not?" Right? If I can get $26 bottles of wine, 2 for 30, why would I not? And this is how I live my entire life, right? It's yeah. Right now I'm eating steak at the average price of $13 a kilo. Ground meat here costs $18 a kilo. Right? I'm consistently eating steak at $13 a kilo,
Yeah.
just for fun. And when you have an identity, the identity lays the tracks for any activities that you got showing up. One more. So I've noticed a pattern. I love noticing patterns. Sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're not. And so, Remarkable 2024. It kicked off, as far as I'm concerned, December 25th. I already had some stuff planned, but the way it showed up had to show up differently because I changed who I was December 25th.
Yeah.
This happens before every live call. Yeah, I have some stuff mapped out, and I need a story. I need something to make it current, so it has current known as power, right? When you talk about in electrical terms. And how many of the live calls do I begin with a story that happened in the past 48 hours? Usually it's within the last 12. And so we've got a year long coming up, and I've got stories happening. And to me, this is such a big part of the fun. Because we're doing the 12 disciples, blah, 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 all that stuff. Oh, we did them 4 years ago, right? Think it's going to be the same adventure? I don't think so, right? But it's that thing where when you really, 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 really get we lay these tracks all of our lives. From what I can tell, we're timeless. This works backwards in time, forwards in time, sideways in time. And I'm not talking parallel realities here. But I'll tell you something. I haven't shared this in a while. So when I'm getting my head kicked in, October of 1989, shit's hit the fan. Right, I've done what I can do. Yeah, I realize, all right, I just had one guy eat my flashlight, my 6D cell mag light. Right, that's gone. I'll never see that again. But there's one bad guy down, one less to kick me. And a guy comes up and he whacks me in the throat. I got a cool story with that happened years later. But during the ride, he whacks me in the throat. Throat gone. Right, can't breathe. Another one tackles me. I hit the ground, and I had a flashback to a book that I read when I was 12.
That's right.
And it was something about the art of survival or something like that. And it had a little paperback, a red cover, and I saw an image from that book. I got it. So the ride when I was 23, I had prepared for when I was 12. Why is a 12-year-old reading that? Who the fuck knows? But that book said when you go down, put your elbows in front of your face, interlace your hands behind your head, pull your knees up to your chest, and cross your ankles. And it showed it, and I did it. And I got the shit kicked out of me, right? My elbows were like this. My fingers were all busted up. I had a busted up cheekbone, but I'm largely intact. After a couple months of recovery, we go back to Scottsdale, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. I walk back to the back of that library. I know exactly where that book is. I pull it out, and I see my name on the card. My name and the date I checked it out. This shit is so fucking real. And we settle for it to solve a problem. We settle for it because... we don't settle for it. We settle into using it to solve a problem. If we wanted a solution to the problem, it would manifest a faster horse, right? That's what, happened way back in the old days. Now we're moving on to automobiles here. Progress. Not really progress, transformation. Progress is a faster horse. Transformation is a motor car. A totally different experience. So we're what you do today changes what you did yesterday or 12 years ago. And yet most people are
And
going...
in 10 years' time.
and in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
And most people settle for, you know what? I don't want to lay tracks, Mr. 20. I just want to, whatever. Talked to a guy at the store the other day, and he's happy taking the pill for gout. Right? That's blowing his kidneys apart.
Mm.
And I said, look, yeah, why don't you eat flesh? And he goes, my doctor says flesh causes it. And I said, I had 3 gout attacks back in 2023. Right? Didn't feel like doing anything. I was happy Victoria was not in the house because her walking through the house would have shaken it. That's how bad it hurt. I've had none in 2024. Right? And then I do this thing called research because I'm a little stupid like that. And the research tells me, you know what causes gout? Not fat and flesh. Yeah, fat and flesh seem to cure it. Right? He's settling for the fix, the pill. Right? And meanwhile, his other shit's blowing apart. All right. But I digress. So, I imagined something, had me change something, and here we are. All right. I think that's good. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's ace, babe.
What time is it? Can't tell.
I don't know. Oh, it'll say here.
Look at that. Oh,
Yep,
my God.
we're way over.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for your question. And I love how you just say, I'm in Vienna now.
Yeah. Beauty.
I really love that. Excuse me. And what we want to know is tell us what was your, where is it there? Hashtag strawberry bit. Loads of, you go, babe. I can't.
Talking with my friend John yesterday at the pool, and he's talking about, I sense something different coming from you and for you. I said, tell me more. So he tells me what he tells me, and I tell him what I tell him. And when I told him, I said, this past year, it's been a year like that. The charts have gone, So now I feel the charts are doing this. It's called consolidation in trading. If you're making a samurai sword, you heat it and you beat it, and then you let it rest in the heat. And then you heat it and you beat it, and you let it rest in the heat. And that's really, really important, consolidation. Interesting, we're doing the 12 Disciples and Remarkable this year, and for me, I get it's a consolidation. It'll have a different feel. I have a different feel. Another word I could use for this, if 2024 was this, notice it's the shape of like a flame going up, I'm getting laser beam. This is where the fun goes in a different way. So, that's what I got.
Cool.
And I just watch it showing up in the questions, our technology shifts, all of it. Cool.
Cool.
And you?
Uh,
I'll tell you another one of mine. Here's a simple one.
Yeah.
That you and I don't agree much or argue much. It doesn't mean we disagree. But it's not like, Victoria, I will be codependent with you and agree with you so you can feel good about yourself. All right, 20, I'm glad that we agree. We agree, so we're a couple. Right? You get, most people do that. Some people know they're a couple because they argue all the time. Yeah. Some people know they're a couple because they agree all the time. Some people have adventures together. Let's have a couple adventures. So there's my strawberry bit.
Strawberry. Lovely.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, so while you type in your hashtag strawberry bits, I can see a number of you have already. Where would you like them to go?
joinremarkable.com. That's my big push right now. Yeah, y'all that are renewing, my suggestion, renew a little sooner rather than later. That way you can join in the live little group chat that we got going on for the people that have committed. Those of you who aren't, that's okay. Still be friends, all that stuff. Those of you who have never joined or maybes, speed, baby. That's all I got to say. Joinremarkable.com. That's the big one.
Oh, that's one thing that, because it's also, it's like a strawberry bit because you said your identity lays the tracks.
Yes.
Like in that quote, the identity of people that wanted to go from Venice to Vienna.
Yes.
The train wasn't even
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
but they laid the tracks. It's like those desire lines I talked about ages ago on a show through a garden where
Yes.
where you're drawn to. But the reason I also brought that up is because of identitybasedmanifesting.com. A lot of the questions today
Go right back to it.
go right back to that. And it also is that, like, your identity lays the tracks. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you're trying to change your activity before you build your identity, imagine the train without a track. Imagine the super little Porsche sports car without a road. It ain't going nowhere. And that's what most people do most of the time. So, Nicholas, it's joinremarkable.com. Beth put up
Oh, good on you, Beth.
the Beth there. Remarkable.com takes you to a tablet, right? So, like this. So one day, somebody tries to join the Remarkable group on Facebook before joining Remarkable, the course at joinremarkable.com. And so I reach out to her. I forget her name. Let's call her Nancy. I say, hey, Nancy, how you doing, right? Like, listen, I saw you tried to join the group. Here's the link so you can join the program, so you can join the group. And she writes back, what's this? I said, I'm assuming you read the description on the thing and you want to join the program. She goes, no, I got one of those tablets and I want to use it. Can you help me? So I'm like, what tablet? And she goes, oh, go to remarkable.com. So I go, and sure enough, it's a tablet. Oh, wow. So can't help you. Right? Oh, why are you texting with me? It's like, okay, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Have a nice life.
Cool. And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, filatrealfun.com.
That's it. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you all for the lovely questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Victoria, for Victoriaizing.
Victorianing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
she's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I come home from shopping with all kind of goodies for her and me and the puppies. See ya.
Bye.